What is up, YouTube? I am back. Jacob here, and welcome back to the Christian Perspectives 2004 YouTube channel. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about why I can say for certain there is a God. Of course, there are a million videos like this and a million videos that are the total opposite of this. But in this video, this video is more so directed towards those that are doubting in God, and then those that don't believe, period. That is who this video is directed towards, but like all my videos, they are open to all people. So, why can I say for certain, without a shadow of a doubt, there is a God? Well, it's something called the miracle of creation, the fine-tuning of the universe. You see, atheism, belief in no God, takes a huger leap of faith than belief in God. Why? Because according to atheism, all of the beauty, order, and design of the universe came ultimately from nothing. Even if the claim that these gastric particles were always floating around in the universe and someday they just miraculously came together and boom, the universe was created, that doesn't explain how you get all this beautiful order and design. I mean, the order and design of the universe is so perfectly crafted, so perfectly put together. So to even make or suggest a claim that, all this ultimately came from nothing, or some kind of gastric particles perfectly coming together at the right time, just doesn't make sense, because science has made it crystal clear the likelihood of the universe being created by chance is a practically infinite 0.1% chance. So basically it's 0% that could happen according to science. And then if it were to happen for that universe to produce multiple solar systems, multiple galaxies, for that universe to produce a planet that produces life, and life abundant, especially life that is just right for human beings, the chances of that is even smaller. So considering that, and considering that when you really study science, you notice a trend. Everything has a cause. The creation of the universe has a cause. The reason that Jobby Bo Briggs had to get his hand cut off has a cause. The reason why someone, this is kind of a sensitive topic, but the reason why somebody gets cancer has a cause, because maybe it runs through a family line. I mean, everything has a cause. So when you really study science very deep, you find that everything has a cause, including the universe. And then the natural question then you got to bring in, well, what caused the universe? What caused the universe to be created? And what about, ethics? What about morality? You see, atheists will argue that ethics and morality are man-made things, but the problem with that argument is that even some of the most twisted human beings to ever exist have, in their earlier years, acknowledged universal ethics, universal morality. And I remember from the first memory that I had, I knew that things like murder, rape, and other abusing someone, like all these things, they are wrong. There is a naturally built-in moral code within each and every one of us that says, hey, this is wrong. So that clearly points, to there being a universal law, because there's universal ethics, there's universal morality. Not to mention, we all have the natural desire to live. None of us, have a desire to go and die, unless if you have a mental health issue, or if you're just, you're old and you've made peace with death. But apart from that, apart from those two cases, everyone has a natural desire to live. Where does that come from? Where does the natural desire to live, and not only just to live, but to enjoy life comes from? You can't say it comes from society, because people that were nomads and would move from place to place to place to place to place, they didn't have a society. They didn't really have any reason that they knew of at the time to live. Yet they lived because of a natural given desire of life to live. So considering the miracle of the creation of the universe, considering the miracle that this universe can not only hold, but sustain human life, and the world and the universe was made so perfectly, almost like it was designed for the exact purpose to hold human life, mixed in with fine-tunings of some of the most simplest things. I mean, look at the fine-tuning of the stars. Look at the fine-tuning of the solar system. But also look at the fine-tuning of something as simple as a cockroach. Something that is so insignificant to us, yet it is so perfectly finely tuned. And come on, when you really study science, that tells you that all this has to have a cause, and chance is not that cause. This is where you got to also bring in logic and philosophy. Logic dictates that, logic also dictates that everything must have a cause, but logic also dictates the fact that, things have to make sense. Like, yes, there are some things that are above our understanding, and logic acknowledges that, but I should be able to have at least a little understanding of everything. A little understanding. Like, a great example would be the Trinity. Do I fully understand the Trinity? Of course not. But can I understand it enough logically to where I can know that it is true? Yes. And you can watch my Explaining the Trinity video to see how I explain it, which I may do another video like that soon. But to get back on topic here, the idea that this beautiful, beautiful universe we live in, and this beautiful, beautiful world came about by chance, just doesn't make any logical or rational sense. I mean, Atheists say that me, by believing in God, I'm taking a huge leap of faith. Really? Are you sure? Have you really examined what you believe? Because as an atheist, you're saying I should take an even bigger leap of faith and say that ultimately everything came by chance. And when you study science, that's not at all the case. Science clearly tells us, as I said earlier, the likelihood of the universe coming to be by chance is literally zero. Technically -0, and that's not even really a number. So clearly science points to, logic points to, philosophy points to, ethics and morality, and our natural desire to live, all these things point towards there being a creator, point towards there being a higher being, an intelligent mind that perfectly brought all of these gases together and, put the right ingredients together, almost like like putting in ingredients for a soup or something, and boom, the Big Bang. The Big Bang proves the existence of God because all of the perfect ingredients came together and they were manipulated in the perfect way that only an intelligent mind can do. And let me bring this point up for those of you that are still doubting what I'm saying. Science for centuries has tried to create things that are highly, highly fine-tuned by chance, and they have never been able to achieve it. Never. They have never been able to achieve anything without their rational minds having to intervene. Nothing has come into being from nothing. Nothing has come into being by chance. I've never seen an EF5 tornado go through a military scrapyard, destroy it, and somehow magically by chance I got a flipping 747 sitting in my driveway. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So ultimately, because of fine-tuning, and ironically, atheists claim science is the reason that you shouldn't believe in God, but really when you study science, science tells you the total opposite. Science tells you for certain there is a God. 100%. There is a God. So, to all my atheist brothers and sisters, to all my brothers and sisters that are doubting, re-examine your science. Re-examine your understanding of the world and really examine the miracle that is the creation of the world. And just go outside. Look at the sky. Look at the trees. And look at the overwhelming beauty that we live in. And ask yourself, does it really make any sense that this world came from nothing? That this world came by chance? And let me also give you a good quote. You don't get the rational from the irrational. Rational only comes from rational. You don't get the irrational You don't get rational from irrational. Remember that. Rational comes from rational, not irrational to rational. Remember that. And then, of course, the next logical question is, well, who is this God? Well, that's when you go and study religious history, and obviously you can check out my many videos. I know that was kind of extra, but my many videos talking about the reliability of Jesus over Muhammad, over the Buddha, and over Judaism, and so on and so forth. So, with all that being said, I love you. If you're an atheist watching this, hope and pray you come and put your faith in Christ. And God bless. Thank you for watching.